All right, let's get right into it. This is one of those stories that honestly sounds like it was ripped straight out of a Hollywood movie. You've got this 30-year-old crypto genius, right? He dies, suddenly, on his honeymoon in India. And just like that, the only keys to a digital vault holding $250 million are gone. The money, poof, vanished. But the real question is, did the man?
Now you're looking at this number, $169 million. But this isn't just some abstract figure on a screen. No, this is the bare minimum of what was lost. We're talking about life savings, retirement plans, people's dreams, all just gone in an instant. This is the black hole that was left for over 76,000 people when Canada's biggest crypto exchange, QuadrigaCX, just blinked out of existence.
And that, right there, is the million-dollar question. Well, the $250 million question, really. Was the death of the CEO, Gerald Cotten, just a terrible, tragic accident, or was it the most perfect, most audacious exit scam we've ever seen?
So, to really unravel this whole thing, we've got to start where it all fell apart. The moment the king and the keys to his entire kingdom just vanished.
So, here's the official story. It's December 2018. Gerald Cotten, the CEO, only 30 years old, is in India. And he dies, supposedly from complications of Crohn's disease. The only person with him? His wife. She's the one who comes forward and says, Jerry was the only person who had the passwords to the company's cold wallets. The super secure offline storage where all the customer money was supposed to be. And just like that, it was all locked away, supposedly forever.
But wait a second, who was this guy? To get that, we need to rewind. Let's see how he built this digital empire. And even more crucial, how he got so many people to trust him. And the rise was just meteoric. He starts this thing back in 2013 with a partner, and by 2015, it's the biggest exchange in all of Canada. Then the 2017 crypto boom hits, and they are processing billions. Cotten was everywhere, He was the face of it all, this young, smart tech genius who was going to make everybody rich. But then 2018 rolls around, and things start getting weird. People trying to get their money out? It's taking forever. And the company's official line? Oh, it's the banks, they're causing problems. Yeah, right.
And publicly? Oh, man. He played the part of the responsible CEO to a T. Listen to this. We take steps to make sure that people aren't laundering funds. He said all the right things about security, about compliance, making everyone feel like their money was totally safe. He was basically selling trust in him, which, if you know anything about crypto, goes against the #1 rule. Not your keys, not your coins. And that's exactly what made the truth, when it finally came out, so absolutely brutal.
Because what nobody knew was that behind that carefully built curtain, the whole kingdom was completely rotten.
So when the regulators finally managed to pry the hood open and take a look inside, what they found wasn't just some bad management or a few mistakes. No, the Ontario Securities Commission, the OSC, they didn't mince words. They called it, and I quote, an old-fashioned fraud wrapped in modern technology. The crypto stuff? That was just window dressing for a scam as old as time. And what was that scam? Well, it was the classic Ponzi scheme. Super simple, really. He wasn't investing the money that new customers were putting in. He was just using their cash to pay off the people who wanted to withdraw. He was robbing Peter to pay Paul, just trying to plug a hole that was getting bigger and bigger every single day.
So where did all that money go? Well, take a look at this. The biggest chunk, $115 million, just gone, vaporized. How? Cotten was literally trading on his own platform with fake money, betting against his own customers. It's like the owner of a casino sitting down at the poker table playing with house money against his own patrons and still managing to lose everything. It's insane. The way he pulled this off is just wow. He was the puppet master. He created these fake accounts, get this, with names like R2D2. Seriously. He'd pump these accounts full of fake money, these quad bucks, and then use that monopoly money to trade against his clients who were using real cash. When people wanted out, he'd just use the deposits from the next sucker in line. And the whole time, he had total, absolute control. No one was watching. No one.
So you have this huge disconnect, right? On one hand, you've got his public image. Gerald Cotten, the tech visionary, the libertarian hero. But the reality? This guy was a con man. He'd been running Ponzi since he was 15 years old. And if that wasn't bad enough, his co-founder? Turns out he was a convicted money launderer and identity thief who changed his name. The whole thing was built on a foundation of lies from day one.
And when this house of cards finally collapsed, it wasn't just some story on the internet. It was a real human tragedy. And it kicked off an absolute firestorm.
Forget the millions of dollars for a second. This is the number that really hits home. 76,319. That's not a statistic. That's people. Real people who put their trust, their savings, their futures into Quadriga. And they lost it all.
So the courts brought in the big guns, Ernst & Young, to try and clean up this mess. They spent years digging through everything, and after all that, you see the numbers here. Out of nearly $170 million that was owed, they managed to scrape together just $46 million. The rest? Gone. Just gone. Lost in Cotton's bad trades, or maybe, just maybe, tucked away somewhere no one can find it.
And for those 76,000 victims, this is the final slap in the face. The first payout they got was just 13 cents on the dollar. Can you imagine? It's not just a loss, it's an insult. For so many, it was a financial blow they'll just never recover from.
You know, if there's any silver lining to this whole disaster, it's this. Before Quadriga, crypto in Canada was like the Wild West. No rules, no oversight. This collapse was a massive wake-up call. It showed everyone just how much risk investors were taking on, so the regulators had to step in. And now, because of this, there's a whole new set of rules. Mandatory registration, custody requirements, all designed to make sure that one person can never, ever be the single point of failure for an entire system again.
So, okay, the financial side of this, it's pretty much solved. We know it was a fraud, we know how we did it. But that still leaves the one giant haunting question that we started with. The one that keeps every single person involved up at night.
And this is where the story goes from a financial crime to a full-blown conspiracy thriller. Look at the facts around his death. He dies suddenly in India, a place, by the way, that's pretty well known for being able to buy a fake death certificate. The only person who saw it happen was his wife. His name is literally misspelled on the death certificate. The embalmer they tried to hire in India thought the whole thing was so fishy, she actually refused to take the body. It got so bad that the lawyers representing the victims formally requested that his body be dug up for proof.
And that brings us right back to where we started. Is Gerald Cotten really dead? The official report says, yeah, the money's just gone, lost to his terrible trading. But there are a lot of people, thousands of people, who believe that somewhere out there, a man with a different name and maybe a different face is living a very nice life on their money. We saw the kingdom fall, but we might never know for sure if the king really went down with it.